Ladies with gentle hands, we are back at the Buzzer episode 4 podcast. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about today. A lot of trade deadline rumors.
Yeah, we're
kind
gonna
of wrote down.
we're gonna get into some in-depth stuff with that.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna come up with some of our own ideas that I went through some articles, but I came up with some bullshit ideas that would be kind of cool, would not be. But last week we talked about NBA script writers. We saw them beat Performance Cat.
Going
It
on.
happened.
They're getting a paycheck. Eh?
It happened again this past weekend. We are out.
Yep.
Luka Doncic,
That's
bro.
right.
73. Devin Booker, 62. On the anniversary of Kobe Bryant's death.
Yeah.
Obviously, recipes Kobe,
R.I.P.
but crazy. And all the comments were saying, imagine if they both got an 81 for Kobe's death. Like
That would have been insane.
Like, that would have been nuts. But these two players, Luka's going crazy throughout the regular season.
Yeah.
We've been knowing that.
Always. Typical Luka.
Still my MVP pick. Gonna take him. Right now he's on top 3, unfortunately, but I would still put money on it.
Who's top 3?
Right now,
Embiid, Jokic, and
I think.
Shai?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Jokic might be first instead of Embiid right now, though. Yeah, but Embiid, speaking of MVP talk, he now, after sitting his 5 games left, and now, do you think that he can make it through? He's
just been sitting out because he doesn't want to, right? Half of them aren't injuries. Like,
he was actually
the Nuggets.
He was
But the Nuggets,
technically.
he just sat out. I guess you could. My personal opinion, you don't want to face the Joker, but
Well, he hasn't faced him since 2019. Do you know that? Since
I did not know
2019,
that.
he has not played in Denver versus Nikola Jokic.
it's like the KD and LeBron thing, right?
Yeah, but that was like
6 years or
legit.
something?
That mainly was legitimate injury. Like one of them was always hurt.
Yeah,
I felt
KD.
like, but Embiid had apparently an actual knee injury. Like he got hurt against the Warriors last night and left the game. So
No, he came back.
Oh, did he go back and play?
He left against
They were playing the Warriors.
and then he came back because I remember I texted our group chat.
Right.
Came back and then he got like kicked in the head or something. And I don't know if he left that because I went upstairs and went to bed.
Oh, yeah. So I thought he was hurt but anyway, he has some sort of knee problem. For 5 games, then teams have probably played around 50 games. I think that's kind of the point that we're at in the season.
I just don't
it's
understand. Like, if you're trying to get the MVP award,
Yeah.
and you know you have 5 games left. Why are you pushing it?
Yeah, and why are you
you-
doing it at this point in the season? Like, if anything,
Yeah,
you should be
like-
like taking your rest by the end.
You're the superstar of your team, dude. Like,
Yeah.
Obviously, he's still leading the team, but kind of have more ambition, in my opinion, to play. Like, it's not really there right now. Although the script writers went off on the points he dropped.
Yeah.
But
I don't.
anyway, maybe he is dealing with an injury, and we're just yapping for no reason and just hating on the guy. But I am a Raptors fan, so I'm allowed to hate on Embiid and the Sixers. But
Yeah, he does his little airplane.
yeah,
there.
don't the airplane.
But no, NBA's cooking still right now, and because of the recent performances, there's also been an article about trying to allow defenses to play more defense, so be more aggressive. The NBA has come up with like a board of some kind to look into how they can make defense more like defensible, if that even makes
Tell
sense.
your players to play harder. Like,
Yeah,
I
but
don't
the
know- I
thing
don't
is
know how
because
they're trying to
players
do
are
that.
so protected by officials these days, right? Like you see people getting texts for even just clapping, whatever, or like a stare down or stepping over because refs are protecting players so much. It's really hard to play defense because players now compared to 100 years ago, 50 years ago, are a lot more creative. But then the defense,
yeah.
but the defense that back then was, oh, you're getting by me, boom, right, sucker punch right there,
I can't
done.
do that anymore.
So now you can't do that, and so like.
Yeah, but-
So it'll be interesting to see if the league allows refs or like tells refs, hey, let them reach in a few times. Like let's hear a few more slaps on the arm. But the thing is, there's so many players nowadays. I don't know if they expected. Ant got fined $40,000 for complaining about the refs.
Oh, no,
After
he's
the
like,
OKC
cheating
game.
ass refs.
Yeah, something
Yeah,
something
I
like
saw
that. Like he says, I'm gonna take the fine for this. They're cheating, like whatever. 40 grand out of your pocket, like tough luck.
40's nothing to him, though. I mean,
No, I wish I'd get his 40 grand.
Yeah.
Like, God, like,
Send it
pay,
over, man.
pay
We
us
need it.
up. But it'll be interesting to see what they have in the back because, like, the league, if we look at the last 2 weeks, and if not the last year, we have 4 70-point performances, I think, now in the last year, or last 2 seasons-ish.
Yeah.
We got players going crazy. Like, Book's been averaging almost 40 points per game in those last 5. So, actually, that's what Luka is averaging, 40 points per game in his last 5. So it'll be interesting to see.
So how long do you think it'll take for someone to beat Wilt's 100-point record?
Well, if defense doesn't change and how much the NBA allows it, give it another 10 years. Like let
Really? 10?
Let Victor Wembanyama grind, get a deeper bag,
Yeah.
get some muscle mass. No, unless there are
Tell
more
your team it's
people
a pass
like
to him,
him
yeah.
being grown. Like that guy's an alien. I don't think he's that good right now. Trust me, I don't think he's rookie of the year. I don't want that. Chet lock.
Come on.
But I'm saying that he can do it because he's got the Kevin Durant type of footwork with shot, right?
Yeah.
He's got the height of guy and Wilt Chamberlain plus. I think he's taller than Wilt. I could be wrong about that. So I'm not trying to say Victor's going to do it, but I think he'd be the best chance in 10 years from now. Because a guy like Steph isn't going to do it right now. Like, guy hasn't probably scored over 50 in however long. LeBron's too old. Like Luka actually theoretically could. Embiid could, I think, too. Jokic won't. I don't think he scores enough. So there's no specific individual, I think. But speaking of, kind of crazy shit, we were going to talk about trades.
Okay.
There are rumors. Things are starting to spice up. Last week we talked about Terry Rozier going to the Heat. The Heat, crazy enough, 7-game losing streak now. They play tonight against Sacramento. So that'll be interesting to see what happens. And they're favorites too against Sacramento. It's a good team. We've already seen Siakam go to the Pacers. But there are rumors around LaVine, DeJounte Murray, we've got D'Lo, D'Angelo Russell, Kyle Kuzma, even DeMar DeRozan, Miles Bridges, possibly, Bruce Brown, Tyus Jones, Malcolm Brogdon. Like, the list goes on and on.
Well, who was it? Was it D'Lo who went on like a post-game interview and was like, I had fun playing with LeBron, passing him lobs.
We all dreamed of doing. Never thought you'd actually be able to get the chance to do it. Never thought I'd be able to throw a bounce pass lob to Lebron James in the game. So.
Like, he put it in past tense. So I think the
He
Lakers
knows.
kind of already, he knows something.
He knows. And so,
Getting traded twice by the Lakers, though.
D'Lo? Yeah.
This would be the second time.
So guys been through the ringer a little bit with
unfortunately.
trades, but hey, good on him. When he hears his trade rumors, the guy's been balling recently. Though he's averaging like 27 points a game right now, so
Yeah, he's
really
doing pretty good.
really good for him. But I want to talk about certain teams, and because we're based by Toronto, let's talk about the Raptors. I have my thoughts, and my thoughts are essentially that they are still in the spot of they could make a playoff push or play in specifically,
They're not gonna make it.
or they just need to tank harder
I think
because.
they're trying to tank.
But like they've been
They did
solid,
beat Chicago
bro.
last night, though.
Like they've been solid in light of the trade. Like Knicks are 12-2 with OG. Raptors or whatever. I think Raptors are probably even with since the trade, like maybe 6-6, something like that. But actually, they have now. Oh, if they won last night, prior to winning last night, they had lost 5 in a row. But they've had their injuries. But like they're only 3 games behind 10th place, which is the Hawks. So like they could make the play-in. And the thing, what we saw last year is anything can happen in the play-in. Like Chicago Bulls beat the Raptors last year in the play-in, and like no one saw that shit coming.
No.
It happened, right? So like you really never know. But some trade ideas. Bruce Brown definitely does have some good value, and I wouldn't be surprised if Masai wants to shop him around. He's great on defense, can pop those threes. But honestly, I think they need a competent big man. And I know Pirtle's good. I know he's good.
He's just
he's injured, and I
Yeah.
just don't like it. But the thing is, if they're going to tank, I don't think it makes sense to go for a crazy stud.
Well, they already have a bunch of first-round picks, from the Siakam trade.
They do. They got 3, and that's what I'm saying. They can flip those bad boys for a crate. And the thing is, you probably trade Pirtle. You wouldn't want whatever you're paying Pirtle. You don't want him on your bench with a crazy good contract. So
yeah, I think what they need though is a big man. They've kind of got everything else, right? Like
they got the
just need a
guards
big
now.
man. Like obviously with Siakam gone, that's a lot of our height's gone, and we need that back, and especially with Pirtle injured.
Yeah.
I don't even know who's in the draft class this year. I haven't looked at that at all. I would.
Yeah, I can even. No, not even. I was gonna say Cooper Flag, but that's all for another year. Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's until 2025.
Shit. Okay.
So yeah, because you want to Duke or somewhere.
We'll check that out. Oh, you just didn't look Duke yet. We'll check that out, and maybe we'll give our picks of who the Raptors, should pick. But
It'll be interesting.
Yeah,
And maybe
man.
they trade 2 picks to get up in this draft if there's like a solid stud. Like they just lost Siakam, small forward, power forward. You could go get a stud small forward. But for me, like there's a few solutions if we're talking big man. That like Daniel Gafford, he's 25 years old, so a little younger than Pirtle. ninth ranked right now in fantasy among centers, which is like obviously his fantasy talk. That's so great. So he's obviously putting up the points. He's putting up the rebounds. 10.7 rebounds. Not that that's more than what Pirtle's got right now.
Yeah.
But honestly, that's worth as probably a second round pick and maybe a player, or max a first. Not worth a lot. So that's a really cheap, feasible option. And he's probably on a smaller contract compared to Pirtle, I'd assume.
Yeah,
You could also look at Andre Drummond if you want a bit more veteran presence. And that wouldn't be bad off the bench because that's what he's doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I think it's time. Bye Chris Boucher. I haven't seen enough from him. I know you love Slim Duck, bro.
I love Slim Duck just because he's a Canadian too, who's from Montreal.
I just haven't seen enough from him.
You don't play him enough.
And I'd agree. It's like Suns not playing Bowl, dude. It's like
they need to start playing Bol more though.
yeah, well, Bull's not
The
hurt,
Chico,
but
there's like barely any difference in my opinion from Bol
and
and Wemby. Like Shaq said it
Yeah.
best. No difference when
we've
you're.
already seen Wemby, bro. You already seen Wemby with Bowl. I completely agree. But a crazy take that I've got. I want to see Jonas Valanciunas reunited.
That would be cool.
With
That
the
would
Raptors
be really
because I
cool.
think like since he was on the Raptors, like I think
Yeah.
that's when I first got into basketball. Now he's regressed a lot,
He has.
and like he's a really like look like Pelicans are in 7th place. My idea behind this is, I think some shit can happen. I don't think Zion's that happy there, because they were feuding over his weight again.
He's happy with his diet, but
Yeah, but the team isn't.
no.
So I wonder if shit were to happen, if the Pelicans, so they're 7th, if they were to fall down into play-in contention, or like play-in spot instead of like I guess they are in play-in, or
Yeah.
top play-in spot. I think, their team has remained mid for so long with that core of Brandon Ingram, CJ, Zion, right? I guess Jonas.
I think if you give away or trade Zion, like I don't want to say there's your team gone, but you're gonna lose. You're gonna
lose so many fans.
Yeah,
at least,
so many
right?
fans. Like that's why people are pretty much Pelicans
Yeah.
fans more. You get more fans now because Zion, but. My opinion, I think he hasn't really done too much this year.
No, he's been quiet. He's
Yeah,
been quiet kind of
I
every
think-
year.
Maybe he's trying to, pull a James Honeybun Harden situation and, go to another team or some other.
Put on the
player
fat
to
suit
do
or
that.
whatever,
Yeah,
like
he
James
doesn't
is
need
doing.
a fat suit. He just
Yeah,
needs
yeah.
to just put the jersey on,
It's actually facts.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'll be interesting. And the thing is too, like I look at Brandon Ingram, who hasn't had he's a great player. We know that.
Yeah.
Like I used to honestly almost compare him to Kevin Durant when he was just first couple of years with the Pelicans, because I thought
In his prime.
when he was really good.
Yeah.
But if bro wants to make something out of his career, now's the time to do it, dude. Get out of New Orleans, because I don't see maybe New Orleans shocks us and goes for trade CJ and gets I don't think they should, but if they were to, or trade Jonas Valanciunas and get some crazy another good player and another star, they could be good, because they gave the Suns some trouble last year.
Mhm.
I think in the playoffs. I think it was 4-2. Suns 1-6, something like that. So they can do it. But I think I wouldn't be surprised if this Pelicans team fell apart. Raptors jump on that. Trade Pirtle, maybe Gary Trent, or pick whatever. You get Jonas Valanciunas, maybe Trey Murphy or Herb Jones, or Jose Alvarado, little fucker. But yeah, I don't know. Raptors, you either need to tank more aggressively, in my opinion, without making it obvious, because I think you get fines nowadays, or shoot for the goddamn stars. But they have a core to build around, so it's just you don't want to fall in the middle of the pack. You getting what a 12th overall pick this year is what they had 17th or something to Grady.
No, we had him 7th.
No, that was 7th.
I think Grady was 7th overall.
Oh Lord.
And they're not playing him at all, man. Get Dick on the court. That's what I've been saying. And it's not working out. You put him in. I went to what? We talked about this before. The Hawks game, you got 2 threes in the last minute and a half or something. Get him and Scotty actually training in the summer together, and especially now with RJ. And
Well, I think you need that
Could work.
veteran presence, and they've lost that, right, with OG and Scotty's got experience. I guess you get it a little bit with RJ and Gary Trent. Gary Trent's been in the league for a while, but I don't think
Scotty's kind of doing his own. He's doing
Yeah,
good.
he's
with
his own
Siakam
player.
there.
Yeah, he's his own player.
I would say better, but he's still doing extremely well without Van Fleet.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
I'll
for
put
someone
that up
like
there, too.
Grady needs that though, because I just look at the Warriors and see how good Jonathan Kuminga's gone,
Yeah,
and credits the coaching staff, but you also got the greatest shooter of all time on your team. You've got his splash bro, who's mid now, but was him,
Yeah.
like in their prime. Draymond, who's a solid defender, so you learn a lot about defense, like not punching, defense.
Martial arts.
Yeah. But I don't know. That's the only reason why. Like, because I argue for it in hockey all the time, so I see it for basketball, but maybe not. Like,
Hockey, I kind of understand more for basketball. Like, these guys are going out there, like, they could only get like 1 or 2 goals a game. Or
Yeah.
NBA, like Scotty can get 20 points or something. Obviously, it makes sense. Like, I wouldn't be mad if they get that presence, but
Yeah.
they have a lot of young guys, and they're starting to cook. Really, they're just maybe more team dynamics in the summer training, and then they should be good from there.
Yeah, honestly, I think chemistry might just.
I think it's just the team chemistry right now.
The team is pretty brand new, right? Like they've kind of gone through a partial rebuild, right? And you gotta trust the Raptors coaching staff because they've been to the finals.
It's 3 brand new players in their starting roster too, right?
Yeah. You got Bruce Brown, RJ, and Quickly. So I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see. Bruce Brown might be gone because he is worth something. And teams, I know, like a team like Suns or like maybe Sacramento are looking for something like Bruce Brown. Speaking of Sacramento, though, bringing that up, originally they were favorites to land Siakam. I knew that. But, obviously that fell apart because they weren't willing to give up specific picks. Something happened. But I think Kings need another piece. Kings are looking solid right now. You've got Sabonis. Monk's coming off the bench. Is balling. Fox is solid all year as usual. You got Keegan Murray, who's young, and Davion Mitchell, who they got draft from Baylor, I think it was. Sabonis is all-star level. But, I think they need another star if they want to be in a deep playoff, contention. Because last year, they did great. They took Warriors to Game 7, either in the first round, I think that was.
Yep.
And, that shocked me. I thought Warriors 4 or 5 games. But they're a solid team, and the fan base there is great. But to me, looking at it, you have Herter as your, 3-point specialist. Every team's kind of gotten one, but they can upgrade. You got Harrison Barnes, guy's kind of aging. He's not that old. But you kind of need something. And what a slightly less crazy idea is Bogdan Bogdanovic, who is on the Hawks right now, but crazier Zach LaVine. Because they're not paying a shitload of money to guys. Zach's got a bag contract, but we have seen Zach perform. The one I always think of Zach LaVine as that one Charlotte Hornets game where they scored 15 points in 50 seconds, less than that, and he hit that one crazy fadeaway 3.
But then you can't compare players to one good game.
Correct.
But that's Zach LaVine hasn't really done too much this year, unfortunately. Maybe they keep him, and their plan is to kind of get him training with Alonzo.
I like that. I do like.
Maybe that's what they're doing because I know they're not going to be a contending team. Lonzo is reportedly back next year, I think.
Yeah, well, he's supposed to be, but he was supposed to be back this year, and then he had another surgery. So,
maybe his time's honestly done. Maybe
I've assumed that this season, which sucks because Lonzo's a stud, but I think Zach LaVine, De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis, and if you could keep Keegan Murray, that is a disgusting starting lineup there.
Yeah.
And Zach brings energy, right? That guy can jump out of the gym. He's fast paced, right? Fox is fast too. So having 2 fast players like that. Look at just starting prime Russ of how fast he was. That was hard enough. Imagine having 2 guys that are kind of equally that quick.
Yeah.
So that's what I like. But why I like Bogdan Bogdanovic is because he's literally a stud. He can shoot from wherever. When Trey was hurt, he was just able to pick up and just shoot the ball. Knock it. He was at the start of the season, he was solid, averaging 25 points per game type of thing. I think he's probably fallen off a bit. And also you wouldn't have to give up as much.
Yeah.
But if we're thinking kind of crazy shit too, there was rumors a while ago that Jordan Poole was going to be are going to move on from Jordan Poole to Wizards because he's been poo.
I think he's in last place in plus or minus this year.
I think they are combined as a duo. They're combined, if not, Jordan or no, they're both 1 and 2 as worst.
Wow.
The Wizards suck, but I'm pretty sure it's either combined or they're 1 and 2 as the worst plus minuses. But we do know what these guys can do, Kyle Kuzma and Jordan Poole. I know it sounds crazy, but gotta give Jordan Poole another chance.
Oh yeah. Give him he's young too. I think honestly,
he's just
after the fact that he got mentally and physically abused by Draymond, and they kept Draymond instead of him. I think that really hit him hard, and You can even look at all the press now and pictures of him. He doesn't look as happy, obviously.
Yeah.
So I think maybe he needs to get out of Washington, put him on a team where like he can actually do something and not be the star guy with Kuzma.
Yeah.
Because they don't really have like a star player, I would say, besides those two
No.
guys.
Well, and that's
like no one that's like, oh, like you go there, like Raps in 2019, like we had Kawhi fucking Leonard. He was the star, right?
yeah.
You go there to watch Kawhi, and Kawhi
Yeah.
brought us a chip and dipped, right? Wizards don't really
I
have
agree.
that one guy right now, and I think that's a big thing. And I mean, hard for him to start playing with Curry, Clay, Draymond, like one of the greatest trios of all time, and then go to Wizards, right?
But yeah, and that's the thing. He flourished there early, really quickly. Like when he got drafted from Michigan, like people were like kind of criticizing it. That was kind of one of the first years I watched March Madness.
Okay.
He had whatever one crazy game-winning shot. I was like, you know what, Jordan Poole's like kind of like seemed to be that guy, and I thought it was honestly one of the snubs of that draft class. That may have been Zion year. Shoot, I could be wrong. I could be very much wrong. Like he was like the 32nd pick or something like that. Like he was like last first round pick.
2019, he was drafted 20th overall by Golden State.
Yeah. So middle pack draft. But the thing is, look, he went from 20 points per game.
Zion's draft, yeah, you're right.
That was, yeah, so 20 points per game, right, with Golden State now to 16 points a game. So, and he's got one of the worst 3-point shooting percentages in the league. But we've also seen the tape of the shit he's shooting. Dude's still pulling up from almost half court, like thinking like he's on Golden State, he'll be uncontested, whatever. I get it.
Yeah.
He's shooting, he's shooting the ball, I think, actually less. Kuzma's still been the same, like consistent wise, like since before Poole got there, like now.
Yeah, Kuzma. I don't think Kuzma will really change any time in his career in the NBA. I think he'll just be a coasting guy where someone you rely on, but he's just always kind of there.
I think he'll also be with the Wizards for a long time, whereas I think he'll move on from Poole. And the thing is, Poole's stock is so much lower now.
Yeah.
That's why I'm suggesting it would be a nice shooter to have for Sacramento, or just honestly like any team, like shit. Detroit Pistons, dude, go get this guy. Like you guys, like obviously they're tanking, so like maybe not, but go get Jordan Poole. Like, but we've seen if Jordan's happy, we're assuming he's miserable right now. Yeah. But if he's not, if you're not Jordan, but my point is we know what he can do, and I think he deserves another shot. He's just in a bad situation. Bad situation in general with Washington, and I think their culture right now, especially with when they had Beal too, has been losing. Like that's kind of been their culture. Like they've just
honestly, sometimes I forget Washington as a team. Like
when I do like the quizzes of like how many NBA, like naming all the NBA teams, it's the Pistons and the Wizards. Those are always two that I forget.
Well, now I remember the Pistons because they
the 28-game losing streak. Yeah.
Wizards, like besides Poole and Kuzma, I don't think I can name a single other Wizard.
Daniel Gafford.
Who? Like
he's a center. Yeah.
But
there
right
are
now,
a few.
they're only down 2 points from the Clippers game right now.
Oh,
yeah. So maybe Poole's cooking, and he got this inspiration from us while we're talking right now.
Yeah, honestly, right. But I don't know. We'll see. I think Washington should just get rid of him, make him happier. But I don't know if he's happy, stay there, knock yourself out.
Yeah.
Your career is going to, I think, rot a little bit. But I want to look towards some more contending teams.
I've got you. What are you going to talk about? Because there's stuff.
I'm going to do Suns quickly.
Oh yeah.
Because Suns are
comments.
No more Dick Riley. I'm pissed.
That's rare.
I'm pissed. Yes, Suns went on a 7-game win streak at one point. Then Booker goes off in a 3-game span, averaging almost 40 points a game. They were 1-2 in that span. It sucked. All right, losing those games sucked. It did not make sense. Their problem. They've had 2 problems all year. They've been choking in the fourth quarter, and their turnover rate, 4th highest in the league.
And injuries too.
Yeah, a little bit, but not even that much. KD's been healthy, knock on wood. Book's been healthy, knock on wood. Bradley Beal's, he's kind of been hurt, but knock on wood. All my boys, knock on wood. All good. But my point is just their turnovers suck, and their fourth quarter sucks. They were rumored to be wanting to trade for Miles Bridges, who we know has had controversies. I don't know. He's still on a qualifying deal right now, so it's not like he's on a huge salary, I believe. So financially, it wouldn't make sense. Suns are so over the cap, though. It's stupid. But they cannot afford to give up someone like Grayson Allen, who's actually low-key been balling this year. Like, he's had some, like, really good performances.
Yeah.
I don't want them to move on from Bol Bol, but if you're not going to play Bol Bol, then
Honestly,
why have
like,
him? Is my
I've got a
opinion.
little trade kind of.
Okay, cook it up.
I'm looking at this. You trade Bobo and Okogie for Boucher and Bruce Brown.
Okay, I wouldn't like that.
could work.
I
I personally, it's so biased because I like.
Yeah.
He's
But
kind of a funny guy,
I think that's a lot less fair for probably the Raptors. I think just because Bruce Brown is worth honestly maybe more than Josh Okogie and Bobo combined.
but it gives them like an insight. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, this is a good trade. Whatever.
Yeah,
And then-
I'm not
then you
opposed
start
to
with
that though.
Bobo with Scotty.
I'm not opposed to that because they
Wouldn't be
need.
bad.
I think other than needing a legitimate point guard, like having Book at point guard is just fine. But
Yeah.
when Book goes off for points, they lose. But then when it's like, oh, like he puts up 20 points and like 10 assists, whatever, they're winning games by 5. So you're
Mhm.
just kind of like there's no like it's stupid because like in previous years when he's gone off, they win games like by large amounts. Playoff
Yeah.
year, that's what was happening. He was balling. So I think they need a true point guard. But if not, they need someone like Bruce Brown or like a Royce O'Neal. I know I've talked to Jake about that a little bit here and there. So I don't know. We'll just kind of see. But just you could have starting point guard. You
Yeah.
have Book at shooting guard. Beal at small forward, which would be kind of small ball there.
Okay.
And then you got Katie and Nurkic. Like if you had a legitimate and like so Tyus Jones is apparently available. He's actually on the Wizards. He's their starting point guard.
Yeah.
He was behind John Morant last year, from a perspective of things. He's solid. Like he's averaging probably 10 points per game, and like 8 assists.
Mhm.
So he's a guy that's going to pass you the ball. Do
Yeah,
what Chris
okay.
Paul did. That's what we need because we've seen what Booker did really well with Chris Paul. It could work again. But I think Suns, if they can, make a trade. Don't make some stupid trade where it's like we're picking up a $50 million guy on salary again, like because then we're done.
Mhm.
The Suns will be forever done in my personal opinion. But moving on to a different team in the West, Lakers. We talked about it, D'Lo, right? And their
Yeah.
favorites to land DeJounte Murray. Do you like that for the Lakers?
I like it, but I don't see DeJounte Murray doing anything more than what D'Lo is doing.
Okay, I like
Personally,
that.
I think
from
it's a
square.
fair trade, one-on-one, but you're trying to improve your roster, like with LeBron and AD, obviously. Just don't see DeJounte Murray doing more than what D'Lo would. One, because he's obviously younger. I think right now he's a perfect fit on Atlanta. We're gonna saw them play Raptors, and
He's been
He's a trade.
balling since
like,
the trade rumors.
when Trey didn't play, he was popping off though too. So I think maybe he needs another shot, and then he'll be good or bad. But I think it's a fair trade. I don't think it's neither team's winning from that trade. It's just equal, just different players. But I could see it happening. Like LeBron controls the league and
Yeah.
the GM too, right? So he'll do what he wants to do.
You really never know. DeJounte is a guy that I think would be shooting the ball less than D'Lo. I wouldn't
Yeah.
say, I don't think if I look career wise, I'd be taking D'Lo any free day of the week over DeJounte Murray if you're looking guys shoot the ball.
Yeah, like
But
D'Lo's
D'Lo-
27 points per game in the last 5 games. So.
Yeah,
So,
but
that's
D'Lo's
fair.
stock's going up, but his career has been going down.
Mm-hmm.
We saw it last year playoffs. We've seen it this year regular season up until those like last kind of 10 games.
Yep.
DeJounte, I think the problem is everyone's like, oh, he's just a role player. It's like he's like a star role player, and like Lakers, I don't necessarily need that because you got like AR as like your like good role player, right? So it'll be incredibly interesting to see what the Lakers do. Lakers actually originally apparently offered a 2029 first round pick, a pick swap, and D'Lo for the Hawks. That just for DeJounte, but apparently they wanted someone better than D'Lo. So a pick swap of first round and D'Lo is enough for DeJounte. So I think if they're gonna give up DeJounte, they're gonna do a fleecing job. Which if you're gonna fleece the Lakers,
Go for it.
please do
Fucking
it.
go for it.
Please do it. I don't want to see these guys in the playoffs.
I don't want to see them
Um,
anywhere.
I think they're in play-in spot right now, so they're actually sucking shit. They have won, did you know, in January the same amount of games as the Pistons. I'm pretty sure. I saw some crazy
Okay.
stupid stat where I combined them.
Yeah.
They're sucking and LeBron's pissed.
Well, the Pistons are beating the Cavs right now, so insane to me, but they're cooking.
Couldn't tell you. I think really last one team I want to touch up on, and this was because I'd seen a post from the Squirrel on my
I know
Instagram.
exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Warriors are not going to break up their core, their big three, unless Steph agrees to it. What do you think of it? I have my thoughts written here. but-
Obviously, Steph's kind of the star player of that team, and I agree with it. This year has been one of his worst years ever.
Yeah, just team's worst year, I'd say. Not even like his year's not been good.
Yeah,
but
yeah, it's been terrible. Honestly, I think Steph's going to break up the core three.
So okay.
I would say go for it. I mean, being that if I was in Steph's position, I saw Draymond do what he did
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man. And
Yeah.
obviously, the Splash Brother relationship with Clay is still amazing, but Clay hasn't played great this year. So I think if they were going to break it up, they would trade Draymond.
I agree.
Maybe keep Klay Thompson just as like a backup guy, but not a player you can rely on anymore, and bring in someone else.
Yeah.
Maybe I would love to see a Draymond and Jordan Poole trade or something like that.
Get him back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
get him back.
that'd actually be crazy, bro.
That could be hope because
Jordan
Jordan would
Poole.
start shooting.
Jordan Poole ball hog his very first game so
Yeah.
heavily just in spite.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I see it in a few different ways. I'm not against like them breaking up at all, but I look at it about how this would make Steph look in general. If you're the general manager, I think it's your job to do what's best for the team.
Mm-hmm.
If you're the coach, it's your job to do what's best for the team. So if not playing Steph Curry one game is the best thing because he's been sucking ass,
Yeah.
you have to make that call. Yes, that sucks. But I think definitely trade Draymond at the minimum. I don't like it. I think you keep Clay, but if you trade Draymond, you keep Kuminga because I want to see Kuminga get those minutes.
Yeah.
Kuminga's been balling recently. If not, if they're looking to get a piece to try and make it to the playoffs, I think they're 12th right now in the West, so they're out of play-in. They're gonna try and make a playoff push. You trade someone like Kuminga to try and get Kuminga and say Clay for like a stud, change things up.
Yeah, okay. I just think
I don't think
a
it's
realistic
hard.
like Clay trade would be possible. I just don't think
Yeah.
Steph would ever do that. One, because I don't know, good friends, whatever. Maybe there's some stuff off the scenes that we're not seeing anymore, but they kind of pass up all the history and memories they've made together. It'd be not to the same extent, but like what Katie did to Russ and kind of sneaked him out of that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just ugly after. So
I don't know.
I could see it though. I could see it.
My biggest problem is I get you want to keep Curry happy as your star player, but also as for Curry as an individual or player, it puts a lot of pressure on you. And when you're talking about you said he would never break up the Splash Brother duo.
Mm-hmm.
He's a friend to Clay. He's a friend to Draymond. He's a friend to the rest of the team. But also, you wouldn't want his leadership, Curry's leadership. If Curry says, "Hey man, don't trade my boys," and they finish bottom of the West, close to bottom of the West, the rest of the guys are gonna be like, "Yo, what the fuck? Like we could have made a push."
Yeah.
And they trades them, and then people could have a negative reaction. Like Clay, like might not like him or like whatever because like it shouldn't be. My point is it shouldn't be Curry's decision. Like I get LeBron has a voice, but that's like LeBron and like Curry are two very different things. Like for me, I wouldn't want that pressure because if I said like yo, like say you were like if I was Steph and you're like Draymond, I'd be like, and I said bye Draymond, bro, like you're done.
No matter
you're gonna
how
hate me.
like high of an all-star they are, end of the day they're there to play basketball in like elite team. They're not there to make financial $1 million decisions.
Correct.
They can influence them for sure. I'm not disagreeing with that. But I don't think it should be Curry's responsibility to have that pressure.
No, it just questions his leadership with regardless of the decision, and I think like it'll question the friendship, and obviously NBA you have to look at it. Sports is a business that's going to be the outcome if they trade him. It's a business move, but if he keeps them, how much is the media going to question? Hey, did you keep them just because you guys have gone to the championship 3 times, gone 3 rings?
Yeah.
Or whatever, you gone 4 times, you got 3 rings. Like, people are gonna question that. Young people are gonna question that. Like Kuminga might be a guy to question that. Chris Paul will want to question it. So it'll be really interesting to see. I just don't like that pressure on Curry. So, with that being said, though, trade deadline is coming up. So podcasts.
When is the trade deadline?
I think like 2 weeks after the All Stars.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, unless it's so. I could be wrong though. It's sometime in February. So I think a lot of podcasts maybe focus on like if shit happens, we'll obviously cover it.
100%.
But we may start to tinker a little bit into like these were kind of mock trade examples when we were talking about certain players.
Yeah.
We'll kind of see what happens. We may come up with more stuff. Basketball's gonna stay hot for sure right now.
I think
and it's gonna change because like the West especially is super close. Like Suns are a loss away from being like mid-play-in spot right now. So
I don't want to say one of the best years for the NBA, but I'd say one of the most exciting, entertaining.
I'd agree, and I think the NBA is doing a hell of a job of doing it. I'm already super excited for the All-Star game because they always do a hell of a job. So really good things coming.
Yeah, I'm honestly I'm looking at scores right now, and I just can't wait to sit my ass down on the couch with the boys and start watching some NBA. Honestly.
But with that, speaking of sitting our ass down on the couch, let's wrap this bad boy up. Thank you guys again for watching our 4th
Yeah.
episode. See you guys next week.
Thank you.